So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep the query portion and this portion, the output portion. I'm going to hide this one. So when you're working on SQL, you can go to View, Panels, hide output area, so that that bottom area goes by and you have more visibility, more real estate to show the output. Okay, so let's look at this. So let's refresh our memories. Let's look at the citizen financial info table first. So we know this is how the financial info table looks. Okay, income, remember that income. Then we know health info table looks like this. Citizen ID immunized. Okay, now let's say if we do the left join for both these tables, financial info and health info. So this is what we're doing here. This is select. So this is what the syntax is. We'll talk about it later. Just give me a second. So let's run this first. Okay, so this is the left join. So what it has done is it joined the financial info table. Annual income is here. It joined the health info table, immunized, insurance taken, and there is only one citizen ID column. So in the left join, there is only one citizen ID. It's in the inner join that there could be two citizen IDs. There could be two, and there could be two citizen ID because citizen ID is the primary key. We're using the primary key for lookups. Okay, so now the syntax here is that the syntax of the left join is that we say select star or column 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to display. Okay, from table 1, and then you mention left join table 2. Okay, using the primary key. So that's what the syntax here is. Okay, table 1, left join table 2. This is what, so basically the names of the table should be different. Table 1 here, table 2 here. Okay, now let's look at the, so we discuss about the count of the tables, how it will be impacted, which table comes first or second, that will also impact the count. So citizen financial info table had how many entries? 8,000. Okay, and health info had, so this is a query, set count star had 20,000. Okay, 8,000 financial info, 20,000 health info. Let's check the count of, what we, this is the joint table that we saw just now. So let's find the count of it. I've just added count here in this portion. 8,000 and 20,000 were the, let's run this. So you see, if I use financial info first, I will get its row number, which is 8,000. If I use health info first, okay, so I will get 20,000. That's how left join works. Okay, let's also view the left join if we use the health info first. So since we're using health info first, we are getting the relevant data fields first, immunize, insurance taken. So again, it depends on what you want to display and what kind of information is required. Okay, so that's the left join. Okay, let's leave this one out a bit. So what I'm trying to show here is that earlier we discussed about the correlated subquery, if you remember. So using joins, it is really simple. So I'll leave this to you to take a look at it once I share it. So basically the idea is that as we progress along these sessions, we'll discuss that. And this is what is expected of experienced people as you gain experience in programming, data wrangling, you should be able to pick up from different tools available to you. So when we discuss this correlated subquery, it looked very tricky. But when you use joins to get the same output, it kind of looks neater, cleaner, okay, and it makes a lot of sense. It's easy to understand. So I'll not get into this right now. It's quite late in the night, so let's keep it sweet and nice. Okay, then let's talk about the inner join and natural join. Okay, so this is again not much difference from the left join syntax. Everything is similar. It's just that instead of left join, I've used inner join here. Let me run this query. Okay, so this gives the count. Sorry, this gives the count. Let me display the. Okay, so two tables are being combined here: health table and financial table. And as you can see, because citizen ID was present in both the tables, it's displayed twice for inner join. Okay, and if I use the natural join, same table, but citizen ID is displayed only once. Okay, so that's the good part of it, that the duplication of the primary key is not there. Okay, now let's look at the syntax of inner join and natural join. So inner join, again, select then whatever value you want to display, all or columns from table 1. Inner join table 2. Okay, and then you have to also mention on. So the syntax is inner join table 1 on the name of the primary key. So because the primary key is same in both the tables, you cannot write it like this. Citizen ID is equal to citizen ID. This will give an error. This doesn't mean anything. So that is why the concept of alias is helpful. So you mentioned select from this table 1, you give it an alias of, let's say, CHI, health wala table, citizen financial info CFI, okay, and then you mention the CFI dot citizen ID. So which means that we are taking the citizen ID from this table and we are taking this citizen ID from the CHI table, and we want these to be equal. And that's how you need to join this. We're telling this to SQL. Okay, so that's the syntax for inner join. For natural join already knows that there is a citizen ID column in both the tables. So we don't need to give this additional information. We just need to tell this natural select star or select column 1, 2, 3 from table 1, natural join table 2. Okay, and I've mentioned a comment here. Use natural join if same column name. So both the tables should have citizen ID exactly same and same data type should be there. So if let's say if the column name is same, citizen ID, but the data type is different, right? So it's possible that in one table it is written as 29814, in the other table it is written as 29,814 in words, which is a string data type. Then obviously this lookup will not work. So only when these two conditions are there, same name, same data type, then you can use the natural join. But then, I would rather be safe and use inner join, because this forces us to specify which column I'm using for the lookup, and it's kind of safer to not make errors. Okay. Any questions?
Can you run the inner join function once?
Sorry, which one?
Inner join function, run.
Inner join.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, so inner join is basically, we have two tables and it is uh, taking out the common values in both the tables. Okay, so the syntax here is, let me this is that we use the select statement to display it. Select column 1, column 2. So let me change this. Let me show citizen ID and so let me just show citizen ID only. So what I want is that I want to get the names of citizen ID, okay, from table 1. I use this command inner join table 2, and then I mention which columns are common in both the tables. Okay, so I use on. So on is the operator which is being used to do the lookup. Okay, so let me run this. Error. Okay, so I'm getting an error that citizen ID field list is ambiguous. What it means is that this is telling me that citizen ID is present in both the tables, so that is why it is confused. So let me try if I could mention CHI, because CHI is the name of this table. Yep. So it is giving me the citizen IDs which are common across both the tables. Or if I wanted to see all the rows, so the output is, so okay, so one thing to consider here is that even though it is saying select from citizens health info, it does not mean that it is taking values only from the health info table and it is ignoring this. No, it is not like that. It is only the syntax. It is taking values from both the tables. It is combining both the tables. So this is the combination. So this is table 1, citizen ID 2. This is health info table. This is financial info table. It is combining. That's why citizen ID is repeated. So table 1, table 2, combine on this using this one. And only the common citizen IDs, common values are being repeated. Okay. Let me know if any questions on this. Look at the chat. I move ahead. So again, I'm trying to give you an example here that, okay, it is fine that you're combining two tables, trying to find out, what is common, but why would you do that? You would do that because obviously you want to combine two tables to do some analysis. So this is where, I've just added what we discussed earlier. So the condition clause where, and let's say if you want to find out कि दोनों table combine करो and we look for citizen ID which start with 2, and if those citizens are immunized or not. So 1 stands for immunized. Let's say if they're vaccinated or not. So I want to search for it. So if you look at the citizen ID column, all of them start with 2 because I use this parameter. Okay, 2 followed by percentage, and the immunized column is 1. All of them are 1. Okay, now since I put in this value immunized 1, I actually don't require it because I know it is 1. So this is where we can remove star and maybe just mention the citizen ID that I want only citizen ID and I want their annual income. Okay, I don't want the immunized column, so I can mention only these two columns and let's run it. So we got that two tables because we know that these two conditions are already part of it. I don't need to see the immunized column. Okay, so this is why this is another concept of optimization that you would see in probably advanced module, where it tells you that uh, don't pull out all the rows and columns. Don't use select star all the time because it will slow down the query. So that could be another question which would come in exam. Pick out only those rows or columns which you want to be displayed. Okay, so using select star, should be careful with, because if there is hundreds of data, thousands of data, then the query would be slowed down. To move ahead. Okay, so let's talk about string and date functions. I think this, let's discuss this should be, let's finish this in 10 minutes and then we should wrap it up and keep the other thing for the session. So again, this is I've simply mentioned the link for the grad module where I've taken this from, and I've added a bit of new queries as well. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are looking at the SQL queries that can be used for manipulating the strings, the words within the table, or the date. Dates are mentioned because dates, the reason the dates are given special importance is because the analysis usually requires month over month analysis, or in the office work that we do, you would be expected to find out the trend between one month to another month, and that is why dates, months, years, these are given special importance in the data science modules. Okay, so okay, let's get started. So let's refresh our memory for the citizens table. Okay, so what I've done here is I've taken only the name column. If you remember, this is the entire citizens table. I'm taking only name column. I just put in the column name, okay, and I ran it and I got these names. Okay, so far clear. Now all of these are in small. Let's make it in the upper, make all of them capital. So I simply use this function upper. It's similar to Excel. There is another option in MySQL workbench. It is called UCase, uppercase. Again, both of these are same. So if I run it, it doesn't change at all. Same thing. Okay, so this is something good to know. Then let's look at the gender from the citizens table. Okay, we know this is how it looks like. Let's say if we wanted M to be small, the entire thing to be small, and M is in capital. So I'll use this thing, lower. So select lower column name from citizens. Okay, good. Okay. Now I just use the concatenation function from Excel. Concatenation simply combines two values, two or more columns. Okay, clubs them together. So same concatenation function is available in SQL as well. And this is a syntax that we'll say select concat, and I'm using the data from citizens table. So from citizens is already there. What I'm saying is that I want to combine name column with gender, and in between I want to put an underscore. So name underscore gender, Prashant underscore M male. That's how I want a new column, and that new column would be called identity. So this is the alias. Okay, so let me run this. Okay, this is how you will get the data. So concat is another function that you could remember. Okay, now these two are also part of the upgrade module. This function is called substring. Okay, now what it is saying is that substring would be used to extract part of the string. So if Abid is the string, it's the name and it is the string as well. What if I want to extract only BID from it, or maybe the first two letters from it, or just BI? Okay, that's where substring is being used. So the syntax is obviously select from citizens remain same. The syntax for substring is that I will put in the column name here, which is name. That's what I want to use. Then I'll use the index number. So people who have done Python, if you remember, uh, in the Python's list, the index starts from 0. Okay, and in SQL it starts from 1. So those who are not really familiar, let's say the index number is, what we're saying is what is the position number. So this A is at 1, the second A is at 2, this is at 3, B is at 3, then 4 and 5. If you look at it from the other way around, D would be at -1, I would be at -2. So this is how SQL tries to remember the position of the string characters. Okay, and that's what we're talking about here. So what we're saying is substring may first we have to give the column name followed by the index number from which we want to capture that substring, followed by how many characters we want after that substring, after that index. So let's run this query, then we'll understand. Okay, so this is what happened on the names. Let me just play around with it. So let's change this last parameter. If I change it to 2 and then run it, if I change it to 3, okay, what if I change it to 5? Okay, we got the entire name. So what is happening here is that it is counting, because I'm putting it as 1, index is 1, and then it's counting 5 characters from starting from the 1 index. Okay, that's how the substring is being. So let's say if I change this thing, the index, if I started with, let's say, 3, okay, and then I run it. So double A is gone, Abid, only Bid is remaining. And it will obviously not go all the way to 5, because, and even probably if I have put in 10, it would have not really mattered because there are only 5 letters in it. Yeah, that's how you can extract the substring. Okay, then yeah, I hope it's clear to everyone. Okay, this example shows, the second example shows that you need not mention the length of words to be followed after index. Simply give the column name and the starting point, and whatever comes after the starting point, that will be captured automatically. Okay. Yep. So it's starting from 4. I is at 4 index number, because there are only 5 letters in it, so I and D are captured. Okay, that's the substring. Okay. So this is, I think, one of the final queries for today's session. Let's quickly finish this. Again, to refresh our memories, this is how the column looks, the name column. What if we want to, so we have seen the cases where this this was made low in lowercase. We have seen where it was made in uppercase, all were capital. Uh, what if we want only the first letter to be in capital and other to be in lowercase? Okay, the way we write names. So can somebody tell me what is the function in Excel for doing this? I have heard that they are Power BI experts on this call and Excel experts. So what is the function for making the first letter capital in Excel? I hope people are not sleeping. What I know is this one, proper. So proper is the function in Excel. Okay, maybe Arpit could be right. I don't know. So right. So when I was looking at this query for the session, I realized that I think that's what people say on net, that various forums, that there is, it's not as simple as putting in proper and so if I, let's say, put in proper here, it will not work. Yeah, it will not work. There is no such function like proper. Okay, so this is why I thought to create a own query based on what we have discussed so far. Okay, and people have created a lot of queries on Stack Overflow, and you can check them out as well. So what we're doing here is this is the query. This entire thing is the query to create. Let's run it first. Okay, to see if it works or not. See, it works. Okay, this thing works. So what we've done here is, so this is the logic of the query. Okay, I've mentioned it here. So let's say if the name is Prashant, what I'm trying to do here is I will first segregate. I will just pick out P of Prashant, change it into uppercase. Okay, and then concatenate it with this remaining letters. And all of these functions we have discussed earlier separately. So what I did here was I first took out the first letter using the substring. Okay, name column, then starting with first index, and I just wanted the first letter, so I ended at 1. Okay, if I had used this at 2, then it would have included P and R. Okay, that's how I extracted this. All right, now once I got the small p from this, I converted it into uppercase. Okay, and then I also extracted from the name these are the letters RASHANT. So I mentioned name and then starting from index 2, which is R. Okay, and then I concat, because this is already in lowercase. I did not mention lower here. So I made P upper. This is already lower, separated by comma. That's the syntax of concat. So concat bracket open, first value separated by comma, second value from citizens. Okay, so and that's how you run it, and you get uh, the names in the format desired. Hope it's clear to everyone.